thinking about moving to Knoxville, but you have no idea how expensive it actually is. We're gonna show you exactly what life here costs when you're talking about housing, taxes, utilities, groceries, and even what $500,000 buys you in Knoxville, Tennessee. I'm Tyler Owens, Knoxville real estate expert, and today we're breaking down the true cost of living in Knoxville. Not all the fluff, but what it actually looks like from people that live here. And if you want to know the pros and cons, click this video here. We just did this one on all the pros and cons in Knoxville, Tennessee. Whether you're relocating, downsizing, or just comparing cities, this video is going to save you a ton of time and probably a lot of money. And stick around to the end because I'm going to show you exactly what $500,000 is going to buy you in Knoxville, Tennessee compared to Nashville, Charlotte, and Atlanta. And I'm going to tell you, it's not even close. So let's start today with the biggest piece of Knoxville's living puzzle, housing. Housing here is not the same it was where it was ultra cheap 10 to 15 years ago, but it's still more affordable than most suburbs today. In Knoxville, you've got options. Downtown condos, suburbs like Farragut and Hardin Valley, rural areas, lake communities, new construction, and they all land at different price points. So instead of me throwing random numbers at you, let me break it down the same way I do for all of our relocation clients. So we're gonna start with the most affordable areas. This is where you're looking to stretch your budget the furthest and where most people look to save money. So where are those areas? It's gonna be North Knoxville, Powell, Carnes, and South Knox. Next, we're gonna talk about what we call the sweet spot. Solid homes, good neighborhoods, and awesome schools. Still more affordable than the rest of the country. You're gonna be looking in Hardin Valley, Bearden, Cedar Bluff, and Rocky Hill. And lastly, we've got the upper end, the pinnacle of Knoxville. These are bigger homes, wider lots, more desirable areas. And these are gonna be narrowed down to Sequoia Hills, Choteau, North Shore, and Farragut. So yes, Knoxville is affordable, but the price gap, it all depends on where you're coming from. Now, let's talk about property taxes. This is where Knoxville quietly destroys most other cities. Compared to places across the country, Knoxville's property taxes feel like a joke. If you live in the city of Knoxville, a $500,000 home is gonna cost you about $3,500 a year in taxes. If you're in the county, outside of the city limits, that's only $1,100 a year. In some places, that's 7 times cheaper than what they're paying now. And this is why so many families don't just move to Knoxville, but they stay in Knoxville, because you keep more of your money when you're paying less property taxes. Utilities in Knoxville are significantly lower here than most other areas. For a family of 4, 2 parents, 2 kids, and about a 2,000 square foot home, you're looking at paying less than $300 a month for your water, electricity, and gas. Now, while some of these vary by area, Knoxville residents pay 25% less than the national average on utilities. And here's something nobody expects. Internet here is actually affordable. Your utility company will actually provide 1 gigabyte of internet speed for less than $60 per month. And next up, we have groceries in Knoxville. Groceries in Knoxville heavily depend on where you like to shop. We've got Publix, we've got Kroger, Trader Joe's, Aldi's, Costco. Depending on where you like to shop will depend the cost of how much your groceries are gonna cost you in Knoxville. However, the national average is still significantly higher than the groceries in Knoxville, Tennessee. So this is actually a major factor that most people overlook, but Knoxville doesn't have great transit. So if you're looking for public transportation, Knoxville's tough. It's here, it exists, but not a lot of people use it. So you just need a car. So your monthly budget should include gas, which is typically cheaper here than most big cities, insurance, and occasional downtown parking. And parking on nights and most weekends is free here. The pro is there's not a ton of traffic, so you're not just sitting in gridlock. Driving here, it's easy. Next up, we have healthcare. Knoxville has major medical systems. We have UT Medical, which is a level 1 trauma center, Tenova, and Covenant Health. And here, health costs are generally a lot lower than the national average. But, and this is important, healthcare costs depend heavily on the coverage you decide. And for most families moving here, it's not a big cost shock when they're looking at housing and taxes. Next up, we have childcare and schools. If you have children, costs in Knoxville for childcare They're higher than most in Tennessee, but still on a national average, significantly lower. Now, when it comes to schools, there's many options. If you're choosing the private school education route, then you have schools that'll cost you a few $1,000s a year, all the way up to some that are actually more expensive than the University of Tennessee. However, the public schools here, people love. You've got places like Farragut, Bearden, and Hardin Valley, which rank among the top schools in the entire area, and they save families thousands year-round. The entertainment and lifestyle costs in Knoxville. This is where Knoxville absolutely shines. Your lifestyle dollar goes way further here. You've got concerts, UT Vols games, lakes, hiking, restaurants, breweries, festivals, and most of it is affordable compared to major metro cities. And because Knoxville is surrounded by free outdoor recreation, a lot of people naturally spend less to have a great lifestyle. So the big question, what does $500,000 buy you in Knoxville? Well, this is where most people's jaw hit the floor. Because in Nashville, Charlotte, and Atlanta, $500,000 is gonna get you a small lot, a smaller home, and it's probably older. In Knoxville, not the case. You're gonna be in a good neighborhood with great schools and a real community feel. And it's probably gonna be somewhat updated, if not brand new. That is why most people are choosing Knoxville. And the catch? If you go 20 minutes outside Knoxville, you get even more. So the truth, is Knoxville still affordable? My honest answer, yes it is. Knoxville is more affordable than almost every other major metro city in the country. So if you're asking, is Knoxville expensive? It's only expensive compared to what Knoxville used to be, but not to the rest of the country. So now that you know the true cost of living in Knoxville, most people's follow-up question, which neighborhoods are right for me and my lifestyle? And if that's the question you're asking yourself, go ahead and subscribe, because our next video is gonna touch on those neighborhoods and who they're fit for. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button. If you have any questions about what it looks like in Knoxville or East Tennessee in general, go ahead and comment them down below. Also, if you wanna stay up to date on what we're talking about, what's going on in Knoxville in this area, go ahead and subscribe, because we're gonna be putting out a lot of videos that's touching on everything going on here. And if you wanna make Knoxville home, all of our info's below. Just reach out and we'll help make Knoxville home for you.